Hi, everybody. It's Casey Millen. Um, I would just like to say four things that I appreciate about the Reformed. Even though I am no longer Reformed, I didn't want to express uh, the blessings or the what I think the Reformed are very strong on, because I do appreciate my Reformed background, and I think it has helped me lead me to where I am now. Even though as a Catholic I no longer agree with the distinctives of the Reformed branch of Christianity, I still have a lot of respect for it. So there's four things I'd like to touch on that I appreciate about my Reformed brothers. Uh, the first thing is their view of Scripture. Reformed have a very high view of Scripture. They, um, I would say, out of any denomination or branch of Christianity, the average lay Reformed person probably knows more scripture than any other branch of Christianity. And I've been in multiple denominations, and that's just my experience and my experience with different faiths online. Um, so I really appreciate their knowledge of scripture. Their They also tend to look more into Hebrew and Greek than most other denominations. They um, they're very strong on the authority of Scripture, on the inspiration of Scripture, infallibility of Scripture, which I would have to admit there's a lot of Catholic scholars who tend to water that down and will have a more liberal view of Christianity and the Scriptures. The second thing I appreciate about the Reformed is their call to holiness. They're very strong on holiness, very strong on the law of God, and are called towards um, to be salt and light and to be holy in this world. Um, Multiple books by John Owen, by the Puritans, by different Presbyterian scholars, by Reformed Baptists. It's just all over the place. They're called a holy life, and that which is lacking among most denominations have a lax view of obedience to Scripture and obedience to the law of God, while Reformed tend to lift that up very highly. Um, the third, excuse me, the third thing I appreciate about my Reformed brethren is their love of the gospel. And, I understand that they consider Rome not to have the gospel, um, but they're very passionate about Christ dying for us. They're very passionate about the grace of God, the mercy of God, um, and I really appreciate that about them. Um, the fourth thing I really appreciate about the Reformed is the impact of Christianity on culture. All branches of Reform believe that Christianity should not only affect the personal life, but affect the culture on a whole. It should redeem the culture, win it back to Christ, and establish Christianity as the rule instead of the exception. Um, I really appreciate that. Historically, Catholicism has also been that way with different nations proclaiming their loyalty to Christ, but the Reformed, especially in the modern day, has really stressed that it impacts not only the personal life and the life of the church, but culture as a whole. That the law of God is still applicable to regulate morality, and there's not very many denominations or branches of Christianity that really are strong on that anymore. Um, so yeah, these are four things that I really appreciate about my Reformed brothers and sisters, and what I appreciate from my Reformed background. And it's my olive branch to you. God bless. Talk to you later.